Tali might be able to make something happen with this Fanny, with this very mobile lineup to be able to move around the map.
So I get your sentiments, right? I think that this is more of a standard pickup for some ONIC fans out there. But yeah, for ONIC in general, what you get from this is, I guess, stability and a lot of ways to approach the game. It's not mid-game centric only. It's not late-game centric only. There's so many ways for them to approach team fights. And with this Farsa, where Suns was heating up in the previous game, it allowed them to really piggyback off of that. But same can be said for BTR. I think that their lineup is pretty solid in a way that it has a lot of options.
Kill Squad Shogun! He popped the Revitalize, but he is going to eventually go down unless Fitz can take him out. Oh, what a guiding wind save, but now can he bob and weave? Oh, Shogun tried. First blood go in the hands of Lutby. What a move. What a plan, man.
That's interesting. But at the same time, would they achieve anything out of that? Maybe this is the only time that they can do that, you know? And it happens to be in game number 4, so I think it's safe, because if they want to extend the series, then that's really some sort of the early game shenanigans that they really wanted to utilize. And the thing is, they only had to pop the flicker onto Lutby, so there's not much that they had to do for that one to work. It did work. First kill going in for ONIC.
Yeah, this is the XP lane is just kind of funny because it's a Barrett and a Hylos, you know, and like we mentioned in the draft, you usually don't see some of these heroes in those roles. They're going to go for Lutby, though. Niall's up here, but Lutby's tanky enough. You really can't commit to that. So one of the things is XP expected to be kind of a dead lane, right? It's mostly what they're capable of doing when these turtles come up, especially now that's on their side. They want to go ahead and have those level 4s. If you think about value, though, who's the better value? The Glorious Pathway ultimate for Hylos or the Daytona's Welcome from Lutby?
Yeah, it really depends on the situation, I feel like. But generally speaking, most of the situations, I feel like 90 to 10 is going to be the ultimate coming out from Lutby. The Daytona's Welcome. Especially with all of these top XP laners, I feel like they have been so good controlling and piloting this Barons, and they're very sneaky with it, and I'm just happy to see a lot of good stuff from them.
Oh yeah, Joker just laying down his own pathway to death, it felt like, on that one. That's going to be a kill going over. They're looking for more. Emon, a little bit late to that, but they do find a Kelra. Good pickup and response by BTR, although the turtle went to ONIC.
I think you're happier if you're BTR, actually, because ONIC giving away some kills is always bad when it comes to the first turtle fight. I feel like kills are more important, but because of that, oh my God, Keyboy, what a snag! That's the reason why we say the Ruby is somehow a counter to the Fanny.
Yeah, this is gonna be trouble. Guiding Wind. Oh, good usage. The Run Wolf King, Feathered Airstrike down, Emon bobbing and weaving, using the stun too. He's actually going to be able to survive. Really good usage of his own kit to stay alive in that Feathered Airstrike. Good play there, but now there's some more pressure. Kyrie's going to be a little bit too late to that, but he is going to take a green camp over. And you can see he's got a lead now, a level ahead of Niall. Niall getting caught in that bush was very detrimental to him, at least for now.
Yeah. I don't want that to happen at all. It's going to be some movements here coming out from ONIC here in the bottom lane, where you have to now think about Kara, because you're fine with the other heroes already, right? Here, Luffy's fine, Keyboy is having a great time, Sans is definitely having a great time, and Kyrie, by extension, is safe. So you're gonna have to think about Kelra now if you're ONIC. How do you activate this Paquito? It seems like the response is to force some rotations into the first turtle, or in the second turtle, I mean, where it is nearby the Kelra lane.
Okay, so at this point, what do you look for if you're a BTR? You know you had not really a chance in that last turtle, so now you want to go ahead and try to make it happen. Obviously, Shogun, you're going to have to watch where he puts down this Glorious Pathway, but Ludwig is pretty much doing the same thing. So Shogun just doesn't want to get caught into a Daytona's welcome and thrown into the opposing team while the rest of the team isn't ready. So buffs are secured. Kyrie's going to go ahead and make his way. Same thing with Niall. He's got both of his. So it's going to come down to an entire team fight for this one. Actually, Purple's just coming up. Daytona's welcome on Niall as he's thrown out already. Eternal Guard going in and knocking them up. But Moreno is gone. And now without Moreno, this is a tough one. BIGETRON is just going to have to give this up. So Turtle should just go over to ONIC. He's going to grab his purple buff and rotate in. Malefic Gun, first item rush for Emon. He needs the range here. So ONIC, easy take on this objective.
Yeah. It took a lot of effort from BTR to be able to find their way into that fight, but in the end, it wasn't enough for them. It was a difficult scenario to be in, I would say. But at the same time, it's proven that ONIC is just better at team fighting at that point. And especially because they're equipped in the early stages. This early game comp that they have with the Barretts, with the Paquito, it's just way too good. But this time though, they're just utilizing the Ruby as well as the Farsa just efficiently. Be always a threat, you know, because if you're BTR, you're always afraid. There could be a bush play that Keyboy can do with the flicker on hand. So up top, Kelra. Oh, he's gonna be able to outplay the hell. Unbelievable.
Oh, man. I thought the Carmilla was a bad game. Well, right now for the Fanny, it might be worse. Finn taking the shadow kill here from Kyrie. Circling equal to be used. They're going for Kyrie. They do have the damage to take him out. Emon able to capitalize on that with the torn apart memory. Good play down here in the bottom lane for BTR.
Oh. Wow. I'm actually surprised like how BTR, well, they're finding ways for sure, but taking down carry is the most important thing at this point because they're stopping the Hayabusa and also allowing for Emon to get a kill. So they achieved so many things out of that play. BTR are now slowly working their way back into this game. It started not so well, but now they are finding a lot of ways.
Oh, they're making a play again. Eternal Guard dropped down, but Keyboy should be able to survive that. Really good response there for ONIC to be there on that engage. Now what we're seeing is Niall trying to kind of recuperate here. It's not that he's down too much in terms of levels, but I wonder what the gold difference is right now. I'm not sure if we can actually ask for to take a look at the items to see what the difference is between things, because that's the main thing. There we go. Thank you so much. Now 1.3K between the XP laners, but the jungle's not so bad given how things have gone for Niall. This isn't too bad. 500 gold lead for Kyrie. But this next turtle up, third turtle of the game, they're going to go ahead and work on it. We'll see if they're able to go ahead and secure this one. Niall has to go ahead and approach this carefully. A turret's going to fall though as Kala knocks it down. They're really taking their time to allow Kala hopefully to get here for this fight. Circling Eagle going to be used. Already the marks knocking forward, but the turtle secured by Kyrie. Emon gets the kill. Kelra waiting with the full stack champ stance. He looking for an opening. Niall goes in. He's able to take out one. There wasn't one for Kelra though. Now Kyrie going in with the shadow kill. Kelra's going to go ahead and flicker forward and take out Moreno. So at least something, but it's Kyrie that falls too. So BTR wins the number team fight there.
Wow, this is definitely BTR showing us that they are really good at 5v5s. You can see how well they dance around ONIC. They go in and out, taking advantage of the sustain that they get from the mid lane, from the Roma, Matilda, and then of course the EXP Hylos with this Revitalize. They were able to out-sustain ONIC once again, and that made it really awkward for Kyrie, the Hayabusa. As we have said many times in this series, it's very awkward for assassins to work around sustain, to work around Matilda as well as, you know, maybe Rafaela. This time Matilda and a revitalized Hylos. And what ends up happening is that Emon is just able to just stack up, just keep on attacking whoever is in front, who is facing for ONIC. And then when the turn apart memory opens up its windows, Emon is just there to collect.
Yeah, this is, it's looking a whole lot like what we saw back in 1 and 2, man. Games 1 and 2, BIGETRON by Vitality somehow finds these ways to get themselves back. I mean, again, think what Niall has had to go through. The amount of pressure being caught, you know, by Keyboy on the Ruby and everything else, getting killed by Kelra. But he's still able to go ahead and do this. And now, even if Kelra surprises him, he takes a couple punches, he's not, he's not going to get bursted down so quickly. So Niall's going to continue to put pressure across the map. ONIC now has to shift their focus for that to make sure that Niall's just not pushing elsewhere, pushing turret down eventually, and able to get real estate across the map. Both junglers doing the same thing here up on the top side now that Lord is spawned.
It's gonna be tricky now because every single lead that ONIC was able to build has now been erased. Of course, there's 1,000 lead ONIC right now has, but it doesn't feel as impactful as it should. And again, another good start by ONIC, but one good team fight from BTR was enough for them to turn things around. It's because of the positioning that we're seeing from BTR, the sustain that they have, understanding properly why and how this kind of composition works. Like what are the ins and outs of a Matilda kind of composition, and how do you utilize it, and how do you win against assassins with it? ONIC are still the first ones to put themselves in front of the Lord. VEXANA down in the bottom lane, not showing himself just yet. A tricky situation now for ONIC. Lord is at 50.
Okay. Moreno might get here in time. They actually delay this Lord take. And Niall's getting his buff, so it's going to reset. So even with that information, they're able to go ahead and handle that wave a bit, at least so it's even. Now Niall and Moreno will be back for this fight. ONIC is respecting the potential setup here that BTR can pull off.
Surely. Kyrie has reset his buffs again. One more cycle. Double buff. Bottom lane being controlled by Kelra. Keyboy is there to help a little bit.
They want to make a play. They want to make a play on Kelra. They're going to drop the Eternal Guard. They get the Terrify off, but they miss a little bit. Kelra's trying to get away. The cable, though. He's 1 HP away. That Eternal Guard quite hurtful, but he's actually going to be able to go back to the base. And now, can they get back in time? This is Flying Clouds, so they will be able to travel very quickly. Again, a big factor here is the map that they're currently playing on, the Clouds being able to bring them back quickly, reposition themselves. So a good attempt by BTR to try to take out Kelra, but it just didn't happen.
Did force out the flicker onto Kelra, and Moreno will have his flicker first. It seems like they have already started with the Glorious Pathway, but no commitment just yet, even after circling Eagle Daisu. It's interesting that BTR are wasting some of their ultimates just looking for an opening.
I think they're really just trying to delay ONIC and make them second guess this. One of the strengths, again, of having a Matilda, and it looks like even ONIC doesn't know if they want to fully commit to these mind games of BTR, as the Lord is just dragged back and forth between both squads. Looks like Niall's got something else in mind. He wants to go ahead and take the purple buff. He wanted to see if Kyrie would rotate for it. So he's going to take it away, win a crown for Finn. This could have been also part of the plan, man. Just wait for some of these defensive items to be available to make it happen. They know that this Lord alone could potentially get them to the base turrets of ONIC and vice versa. Loopy, half health, taking some damage here. Shogun as well. He's quite low. They're going to go for Loopy. Loopy pops it. Whoa, pops it. Daytona's welcome, but he was so low. He's gone. They're going to set it up in the mid lane as Shogun goes next. And Niall's got to get out of there because he's low. So now it's going to be a reset. He's going to go back to base, and ONIC will reset as well.
The pokes of coming out from BTR was enough for Loopy to be forced to make that play. Albeit good catch coming out from Lutpi, but he was far too low. So when he popped the Daytona's welcome on the right target, the damage was too much for him to handle. He was taken out. And Keyboy had to pop the flicker just to salvage that fight. So it's an XP for XP trade-off. But flickers, battle spells, I mean, gonna be more available for BTR in just quite a while. So ONIC really has to delay this for themselves.
Oh! Huge Eternal Guard dropped down, and Kyrie goes down too. It's a double for Niall. They knew that Kelra was down to the bottom wave, and they set it up, and now in the mid lane, they're going for Kelra. Kelra, he's got stacks, he's got some shields, but he's all against the world. For BTR.
Oh my God, Moreno. The problem for ONIC for the longest time, and showing no signs of stopping, my man. And now, look at them knock into the front door.
They just want to take this turret out. They're going to be back up here. BTR knows it. They're happy with the base turret for now. They still have the Lord to go ahead and spawn and start marching forward. But man, oh man, what a setup from BTR. Taking a look at the items here, Wolf, you see what they've got available. I mean, even the brute force breastplate now for Nile is why it's so difficult to actually burst him down, you know, to kill him down. He's in, and even enough to kind of work around that is just how does ONIC play the long game here? The long map is what they're dealing with. And that moment of Kelra being on the bottom side made this happen. Now they're going for the bottom turret. They still got to deal with the Lord here. They're going to go ahead and try to clear out the last cannon minion. Kelra will be able to do that. So they maintain the base bottom turret. Tier 2's all down. ONIC sees BTR knocking at championship point for this one. But they'll clear out the waves and they manage it well as the Lord goes down too.
Moreno's just playing out of his mind in this whole grand final. Even in the game that they've lost. Still Moreno playing so well, and this game, he is a problem for ONIC.
They just want this base turret, little fake out here. Glorious pathway drop down, Eternal Guard. They're going for T-Boy. He's quite low, picks up the immortality. He's going to be fine, and BTR, they take the discipline route to back off. They got 2 base turrets off that Lord, and now ONIC gets another chance to go ahead and reset and not let that happen again.
It's really dicey spot here for ONIC. You know what's one thing that's fortunate for them is that the Lord will spawn onto the short lane, where their short lane is the side that was pushed up, and their long lane, they still kept their turret intact in that in that lane, so they still have a fighting chance. But now we've reached critical mass for BTR. The Fanny has been a problem, and now is a full problem with this brute force breastplate, so that there is additional anti-CC that you get. So that means that the small amount of crowd control that they have with the Ruby is definitely not going to be enough anymore. And he is also tankier, so gotta be careful about that, mindful about that. ONIC also does not have a marksman, so at this point in the game, he can only do so much with a Paquito. You will need the help of your teammates, which means that a 5-man wipe coming out from ONIC is difficult to pull off. You really have to slowly trickle down BTR if you want to score that. So everything is just difficult now for ONIC.
It's crazy how, again, the story happens. It looks like they're going for a sandwich play to cut off Lutby. He has no stacks. He could be in trouble. Pops the flicker. They're going to go and crash down on him. Eternal Guard again, and Loopy is gone. Without the stacks of Feathered Airstrike, he's going to be stunned by Shogun. Good play. Emon still alive as Kelra gets a shutdown. But again, the stun comes through as Keyboy falls, and now Kelra on the run. He's quite low. A quarter of the health. They're going to chase him down. He has the shields, though, so he's going to be fine. But they got a wave to deal with. Down bot and BTR without Nile, though. I don't think they can get much more, even though they're in the base here, unless ONIC decides to go ahead and go for a defense. They're going to try to make something happen. Glorious pathway drop down. Finn goes in. Do they want to lock onto the base here? They're trying to delay this as much as they can. But again, the combos come through. Kelra picks up an immortality, but he's going to be in trouble and taken down by Emon. And Moreno goes in with a flicker. It's a double for Emon. The setup for the Maestro, a triple. And they're looking to end it here. Can he get the Maniac? They don't even need it. They're going to go for it and then the base. And there you go. BIGETRON by Vitality. They want to go for more. They want the Savage, but they don't care.